Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. We are back with our first review of the year, which I'm very excited about because it feels like so long since I talked about like an actual theatre show with you all. So as you can probably tell from the title and the fact that the last video on this channel was the nervous guide to this show, we're going to talk all things and the importance of being earnest, currently playing in the National Theatre. So if you want to know my thoughts and feelings, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So like I said, we are here to talk the importance of being earnest. This highlights my second ever trip to the National Theatre and my first time in the Littleton space. This time, after last year being a musical, we saw a play, and I have to say, and this is probably like blasphemy of the musical variety, or theatre variety should I say, I had absolutely no clue what I was going into with this show. I didn't know anything about the show. I was drawn in by the fact that my mum has been saying for years that The Importance of Being Earnest is a play which she saw in her earlier years with family members, and it's the most she's laughed in a theatre. And on top of that, when they announced they were doing this show, they announced the cast, and I was like, well, there's me trying to find a ticket. The run is pretty much sold out. The only way to grab a ticket is to find a returns ticket. I was lucky enough to get a ticket for my Christmas present. I had basically mentioned that I was interested in seeing the show. I had resigned myself to being only able to see it in the cinema because the National Theatre have recorded this, or if they haven't already, will soon to be recording the show to send to cinemas. And I was like, it's okay, I'm gonna see it in the cinema, I'm gonna have a great time doing that. And then I had a call from a family member, my brother, basically saying on, I think it was about the 23rd of December, are you free on the 2nd of January? And do you still want to go and see the show? And my answer was yes to both. And I was lucky enough to go and see it. Ha! So happy. This show has been directed by Max Webster, and the gorgeous set and costume have been done by Ray Smith. This show tells the hilarious story of basically of two guys, two men in high society, if you will, and it follows those two characters through many a hijinks, many a funny moment, slightly romantic moments as well, and tells the story of identity, impersonation and love, and how all those things can be connected. Like I said, I didn't know what I was getting into when I said that I wanted to see this show. I was expecting it to have comedy in it. There is a mix of physical and essentially vocal comedy. Some of the jokes come from the script, some come from physical moments, such as people unable to get down a hillside, people falling over things, people hitting gongs, physical comedy, which didn't sound very funny then, I'm aware. And on top of that you have the comedy written in the script, which originally was Oscar Wilde's script, and the director has reimagined it slightly, I believe, keeping the majority of the script as is, but also giving a little bit of a up-to-date feeling, but with a classic undertone, if that makes sense. Quickly moving into the cast, let's first mention the two people you meet first on stage, and they are the roles of Algernon Moncrief and Jack Worthing, who are played respectively by Ncuti Gatwa and Hugh Skinner. Both of those human beings were hilarious. I really enjoyed their chemistry together, because at the end of the day they are designed to be the best of friends, even though there is mishaps galore. I just enjoyed the two actors together. They were absolutely hilarious, and it just felt like they were having so much fun on the stage. I just really enjoyed watching both of those. I also enjoyed moments such as the tea party in the second act, where they are kind of front and centre in the stage as the set is being changed behind the curtain. And towards the end of that little scene, one of them basically was like, I think we've done enough now that the set has changed, and we're just like prolonging it for the sake of no reason, which I assume is written in, but the way it was delivered was just very funny, and absolutely I thoroughly enjoyed watching the two of them working together, but also alongside the two leading ladies who they are trying to woo. Those two women are by the name of Gwendolyn Fairfax and Cecily Cardew. Gwendolyn is played by a glorious human being who I am not going to try and pronounce the name of. I have found them doing an interview online from a couple of years ago, so this is the person whose name I am not going to butcher.
My name's Ronke Declujo.
There we go. She was so hilarious to watch again. The entire cast, funny human beings. Just a joy to watch every single one of them. The role of Gwendolyn is whiny and slightly annoying, but in the best possible way. That wasn't a good character description, but it is what you got. And Ronke was just absolutely hilarious to watch, and the costumes, chef's kiss. The other lady in question where the wooing is happening is Cecily Cardew, like I said, and that role was played by Eliza Scanlon. You kind of don't get to know Cecily as much in Act 1 as you do in Act 2, but again, very hilarious person to sit and watch, and another great actress on the stage. The roles of Reverend Chasuble, I think that's how I pronounce it, and Miss Prism, played again by Richard Cant and Amanda Lawrence respectively. They both have their moments, and are also absolutely hilarious. But when we speak about hilarious people, the one name in this show that I have to mention is Julian Beach, who plays two butlers essentially, Merriman and Lane. He's the role of Lane initially when the action is taking place in town at Algernon's house, and then he turns into Merriman when you are transported to the country to Jack's house. The more funny butler of the two is Merriman for various different reasons, some Gong related, some just Julian Beach related. I last saw him in a stream of The Grinning Man, so it was very exciting to see Julian in the flesh, and like I said, comedic timing, physical moments, altogether absolutely hilarious. And the one human being I have yet to mention is the only Sharon D. Clarke, who takes on the role of Lady Bracknell, who is the matriarch of one of the families involved in the show. She is Gwendolyn's mum, Algernon's auntie, and Sharon D. Clarke for me will always steal a show, but in this show in particular she is just iconic. The stage presence is top notch. Everything about the role of Lady Bracknell is just brilliant. The costumes, again, oh my goodness, were stunning. And yeah, I love Sharon D. Clarke with all my heart, and the fact that I was sat in a room watching her deliver this role was just a thing of joy and beauty and everything. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed my afternoon seeing this show. What happened after the show, not so much. That's a story for a different day, and we're just getting over it a whole 9 days after the event. 2025 had an interesting start to it, let me just say. But I am so grateful that I had the chance to see this show. Like I said, it is for the most part sold out until the end of the run, which is on the 25th of January. There are sporadic tickets available, I have just checked, but you have to be quick and grab. Like I did mention, National Theatre are also sending this show into cinemas, with cinemas screening it from the 20th of February. So check out your local theatres if you missed the chance to see this show, because it is so good and so clever and just absolutely brilliant. I may have to go and find a cinema and go and see it again. But the fact that I've started this year off with this show, this stellar show if you will, 2025 is gonna hopefully be a really good theatre based year for me. I'm gonna try and see some more plays. This one has definitely whet my appetite for a few more plays this year, and yeah, I'm just excited to see what this year comes along with. But enough of me rambling on. I'm going to leave this video here saying thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. But all that's left to say is the usual, and that is thank you for watching. Love you a lot. And finally, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen and goodbye. Bye.